take this Ben Nye blush and we only do the duration of a fourth of the eyebrow above and below the eyelid. After that we slide it down and slowly create the effect of being red, going from up to down, creating a scar going from the top of his head down to about the bottom of his cheek. We come back through once we do this and we just go over it to make it almost a giant triangle effect. After we do that, we come back down here and we go across right in the orbit of his eye and come back down. Alright, so once we have that laid down, we take this right here and we add some, we take this and we add some red to it to have some definition for the underneath, or if you're actually to rip the skin back, you would see. So what we do is we come in here, and it's only, even though this is a richer color than what that is, it gives it, definition. We do a thin layer, coming up here, and then bringing it beside the eye. For when we put the latex on, it will go through, and this will end up a pinkish color. Bring it down here, and come down right here.
This is the part I enjoy because I get to keep my eyes closed.
Then what we do is we go right over the eyebrow where we're going to do the makeup, and if you see, we leave it white, and it gives it, because this is so dense and this is grease paint, what it does is it allows it to give it depth and give the rest of his eyebrow definition, or volume rather. So what we do then is we take the brown, the makeup brown, and he closes his eye, and we come right here and we make 2 marks to show where it would be in his eye. And then when we do that, we come back, because we're not actually going to put makeup right in that spot. See, and then we slide it up and make that there. After we do this, what we do is we take the bruising and scar makeup, and we start off with the rich red tone, and we come in here and we go on the outside and just dab it. And it gives it an orange undertone. And we go directly down the center where we're using it and give that definition right there. Then what we're going to do is take this yellow and we go right where in between the brown spots. We go on the eyebrow and then we go on the opposing side. After we go on the opposing side, we come down here and go on the opposite side of where we just put the orange red down. So after we do that, we let that sit for a second and we grab the brown. After we grab the brown, what we do is each toe spot, we put it just in there to give it the random effect. So at the moment he looks like a clown, but he will not be looking in a few minutes.
A clown with a deformed eye.
Apparently everyone's already dead at my house. Called my dad, my brother, my mom, and my grandmother all.
Oh, this is also the day of the rapture, so
today we're dying at 6 tonight.
So,
it's happening in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do then is we're taking liquid latex, and we're basically going to build a condom on Liam's face.
I mean, this is whorish paint, so, got to protect the face.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we take a simple coat and we start from the top very thin and work our way down, going onto the eyebrow and going where the initial scarring is going to be in the scab.
This is the part that always tickles me, but it's a good tickle.
Oh dear.
And so we go off of our borders just a little bit, so the area will be confined within the liquid latex. We get the eyebrow to make sure the eyebrow is completely damped down.
And we're not going to use spirit gum again.
We're not going to use spirit gum to glue down silly paint to them. We're going to get right underneath here, but we're not going to get the eyelashes.
Thank you.
And we're just going to brush this down. While I do work on the bottom, if you look at the top, you can see that it's starting to create sort of a glossy effect, and you can start seeing the color coming through. What it's doing is it's drying. So, anyways, we're have to set this layer, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Alright, so we've come back, and as you see, what it has done is you can see the color coming back through now, and you can see these random spots where it looks as though flesh tone. Aside from it being flesh tone, you can see the color underneath. Now, what we're going to do from here is we're going to build the bruise on top of that with this. And after we use these colors on the bruise, we're going to come back through, do a different layer of clear, and we're going to come back and then we're going to rip his skin off. So what we start with is we start with this purple color. You come in right here, you go right on the eyebrow, and then go right along here, and go in. After we do that, we go to the top, and we're only focusing on the left side, because to give it the raised effect, you have to have shadow coming from one ray of light. So, we're going to come right here, go right underneath the eyelid, and we're going to come and work our way down, and then just kind of random splotches in there. Now, aside from it being all on the left side, what we're going to do is we're going to go right over here and add a few splotches right over here, but very dim, to give it the definition of being, you know, sunken in, and the higher part being raised. So as you see now, it's starting to look like almost like an infection. So what we're going to do is we're going to even make it, because of the colors that we're choosing, we're going to make it even look more so. So what we're doing is we're So we're coming up right here. We're going right down the center with the yellow. And as at this point, it gives it the effect that the center is being raised. Now, what we do is we come in and we take the red and we just mark major points throughout the scar. We just do a few dots. Now, once we have that, we take this clear latex that we have. It's a little bit lighter of a consistency than the other, but it comes through when it dries more clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up, we're just going to lay it on thick. So go ahead and feel free to stick your finger in here. That's what she said. And lay on the initial scar that you want. This actually builds exactly what you want. Make sure you don't get it on the eyelashes, because that is a bitch to peel off.
That it is. Especially when you're wearing a special effects contact lens.
So you work out the initial scar, and you go over it a few times so it remains wet. And so
you can see where our minds go usually.
Okay. So once you have the initial scar, it's going to dry, and then it's going to come back, and the colors are going to be you're going to be able to see every color. And after we do that, we're going to fill them up with some blood, and then it's going to look like a scab had just ripped open.
So you'll probably want to join us back in a few minutes after this is hardened and he's put the base on over it. So we'll see you again in a few minutes.
Alright, so you come back, and what you see is you can see the makeup is hardened, and it created the initial scar. And see, the yellow is almost completely disappeared out of there, except for the undertones, which are right here and right here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take just a basic color pencil, and what we're going to do is come right here and go directly down the center of what we want. Not only does it lay, but as you see, his skin's popping up. You can see it. And then we're going to come right here and follow the initial scar. And we're going to follow it right down here, peeling his skin back as we do it.
I'm just that tough.
So, alright, now once we have this, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the parts that are sticking up. We're going to peel what initially looks like his skin back and break it off, leaving these little pockets to do. And after we do that, we're going to come down here and grab these and grab one more and try to go further down. Alright, so once you have these pockets right here, we're going to take a pencil that we've been using for blood, and we're going to take this stage blood right here.
Christian, shut up.
So what we're going to do is we're going to dip this in here and just get a little bit of stage blood on. What we're going to do with this is we're going to oops.
2 nights now.
2 nights in a row. 2 nights in a row. Where it comes in here. And we're going to open it up and literally insert his skin with blood, if you see what's going on here. You see, and then it leaves it the undertone scarring, and it actually looks like he's bleeding from within.
Stings a little bit.
So we're gonna repeat this process with the rest of the craters that we've put on his face. Some deeper than others, as you see. We're gonna come right here in the last one. Just mark it. Alright, so once we have this initial effect, we let it sit for just a second, which will be just enough time for me to grab this, and we grab the initial bruising makeup to begin with. And we go with the darker colors now, which were the purple and the brown. And we come right here where we first had the purple and brush right underneath the scars. And after we do that, we take the brown and go on the opposing and get the tops of what we have. So once we have this, we're going to take this yellow and go right down in the center of the craters that we've invented. We're going to go ahead and seal this back up. After we have this, we're going to take black, and because it is stage makeup and not just normal, gore makeup, you have to have a darker color so it seems richer on stage so you can actually see it in more definition. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right around here and do random spots, scrape down, and come up in here and make the black hit all the definition. So from off stage, it'll give the appearance of not only be, a hideous scar, but it will make it look more defined. And once we have this, what we do is we let it dry for a second, and then we'll come back through and do the rest of his makeup on top of that.
So come back after he's done the rest of my makeup. Alright, well, as you've seen, I've transformed from a nice, somewhat normal-ish kind of individual into this. I'm now in full costume, and you have seen the beastification of Count Cenci. Are you looking at